Let's refine it further. Let's refine it further.
We'll make it mad, we lead the way. In the reptile world, we're here to stay. Double clutch, where passion meets. From the start to the top, we can't be beat. Double clutch, we're making that double clutch. Double clutch, it's where it's at. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track. Double clutch with Mike and Matt. Double clutch, it's where it's at. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track.
Let's refine it further.
We Mike and Matt, lead the way.
Let's refine it further.
We're here to stay. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track. Double clutch, we're making that. Double clutch, it's where it's at. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track.
Let's refine it further. Let's refine it further.
Always on track. We'll make it back. With the clutch, double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Double Clutch. What's good, homie?
Man, you already know, man. This is go time. You know what I'm saying? I'm hyped, man. I'm ready to go. It's going to be a great show today or tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir, man. Definitely looking forward to this conversation, man. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. For those of you who do not catch it live, big shout out to the replay game. It's going to be a good one, man. We're going to tap into this Morph Market conversation, man. Definitely looking forward to this one.
Oh, yeah. It's time to address some, well, honestly, I just want to address some things so that, you know what I'm saying, the owner of the Morph Market could clear it up for us as patrons of his website and his goods and services that he provides, but also just so we can hear the words out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? What is and what's not, and you know how this is going to map out in the future, because it affects all of us in the hobby. You know what I'm saying? And so what his plans are for Morph Market in the future, 3-5 years from now, or even 6 months from now, I'm excited to address all those different kind of things and see what he has to say about it all.
100%, man. Hey, we're not gonna keep y'all waiting tonight. So we're gonna go ahead and bring out Darien. We will do some of the promo stuff later on in the episode, but we definitely want to get to this ASAP pronto. So without further ado, we got Darien. What's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, pretty good. How about you guys?
Pretty good, man.
Good,
can't complain.
boss.
Appreciate you coming on and chatting with us tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, like we were saying, man, we definitely want to clear up some of the conversation and really get the words from your mouth. So definitely looking forward to whatever insights you share. And so I'll pop it right off, man. So you've been in the shipping game for several months now. So you've talked about this a little bit on other places, but talk a little bit about like what prompted you to get into the shipping game. But then on top of that, talk about like, are you surprised with some of the reactions and opinions and things like that? Because there's a lot of people that's got a lot of strong opinions about this. So talk about if you're surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty good so far. I think, shipping was kind of a natural progression for us. I mean, it was, we've got a marketplace, we've got 10,000 plus animals being sold a month. And, what else do people need? They need shipping, and it makes it easier to, allow people to just click and print and they're done. It definitely had some backlash. I mean, we've had, some negativity from it, but I mean, I think that was, kind of expected in some ways. It's gone a little more extreme than, I anticipated it would, I think, but I didn't realize how, well, I guess I knew how passionate people, were in the industry, but, it definitely, if you people don't like change. So it definitely ruffled some feathers, and yeah, I think things are going a little smoother now. I mean, it's, you know, a few weeks ago things were a little crazy, but you know, I think it's getting better.
Now with the just to piggyback a little bit on that, with the shipping, you were already, can you give us a little history? Because some that are tuning in might think that this is your first time shipping at all, but you guys have been shipping with your other companies as well, have you not?
Yeah, I mean, you know, when it comes to reptiles, we have shipped quite a bit over the years. I mean, we do, you know, we do have a couple pet stores, and we deal with a lot of shipping there. And then on the bug side, I mean, we ship, you know, thousands of packages every week. So about 40,000 packages a month going out with, you know, live bugs and isopods and, you know, roaches and worms and things like that. So, I mean, we've been shipping, you know, we shipped over 1 million packages total of live, you know, whether it's animals or insects. And I think that gives us, you know, pretty good insight into, you know, how the shipping and logistics industry works, and, you know, what the good and bad things are. I mean, we've done a lot over the last 5 years when it comes to, you know, improving the way that we ship, and, you know, learning when and when not to use heat packs, and how to pack, you know, things correctly, where they're routed through, you know, what type of weather, you know, we should and shouldn't ship through. And I think that's given us a lot of insight. And then we hired several people for Morph Market shipping, specifically, which, you know, we've got a few people who have, you know, years of experience shipping thousands and even tens of thousands of reptiles as well.
Gotcha. I remember y'all making an announcement about a logistics guy that y'all hired, like, I don't know, maybe 3, 4, 5 months ago, something like that.
Yeah, we have a guy that works for us, and he does a lot. He has a long history of logistics and, you know, freight, overnight, ground. I mean, just about everything. And then we have several people on our team who, you know, who also have a lot of shipping experience, specifically in reptiles, and that's been key. We've got a couple key players there that help out a lot.
So was the plan ever at any point to partner with some of the other shipping companies?
A couple year ago, you know, we were looking into it, and we were trying to figure out a way to make that work. A lot of them didn't really have an interest in it. They didn't want to be, you know, competing on the same site. Like, you know, it was kind of a thing where, you know, a couple of them didn't want to be on there with other shippers. And, you know, so we kind of decided to, you know, look into how we could make it happen ourselves without, you know, having to deal with that kind of, I mean, I think that if we pick just one shipping company, whether it was Redline or SYR or Reptiles to You, Reptiles Express, or a couple others that are, you know, a little more private that aren't well known, I think we would have just kind of had the same, you know, response, because it would alienate a lot of people if all of a sudden, you know, all I had was, you know, SYR on there. Then a lot of people would probably, you know, they want to use Redline or Reptiles to You or Reptiles Express, and it would be the same as what we're dealing with now. And it was tough to work with, you know, find somebody who would make it work, I guess, for everybody.
So you feel like, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, so your approach at the beginning was you wanted your website to carry multiple shipping companies on that website.
Yeah. I mean, originally we wanted to integrate with everybody so that you could just, you know, create a label right after you sell an animal, and you know, it gets pretty complicated, you know, integrating with multiple companies, and so, you know, that gets a little more expensive, and I think that a lot of them, you know, really weren't interested in doing that at all from the conversations we had.
So the integration cost, does that live on their side, Morph Market side, or a little bit of both?
It would have been a little bit of both, yeah. And I think nobody really wanted to, you know, pay that up front. I mean, it's pretty costly to do all that. And I didn't really want to alienate the others. So I wanted to have it's like, it was kind of a, all or nothing sort of deal. I didn't want to just put one shipping company on there, and, it would have possibly been even worse than the backlash, we've had doing our own thing. So, having it be our own thing built into Morph Market, it's a little less, in my opinion, it's a little less controversial, even though it has been clearly pretty controversial.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So one of the big controversies around it is how cheap the shipping is when you compare it to like some of the other companies out there.
Yep.
So talk a little bit about how you are able to make it so much more cheaper than the competition.
Well, I would say a couple things. Number one, we do have other volume that we ship with, the bugs and everything else that we do, which may or may not help with, discounts and all that, which we could pass along to the customers. But on top of that, we don't have a large staff that we have to, pay. So, where some others might have, 12 or 15 people doing customer service, we're able to have about 3 and do the same level of service without having to do phone calls. So that's one big part of it. Another big part that I've found is that we don't have all of the additional costs and advertising and promotion and sponsorship and everything else. We've kind of, my opinion of it is, we could go out and do, tons of expos and sponsorships and, send out a bunch of merch and do all these other things, but I mean, that's hundreds of thousands, $500,000 potentially, a year that now has to be spread out and covered via all the accounts that ship through us. So, that's kind of a tough thing too. We're able to cut that out, which goes directly into saving our customers money. And the last part of it, I would say, is the just the referral and like special deals, sort of deal. So some of the other shipping companies in the past have done either special discounts for, those who are big promoters of them, or they're sponsored, or, even like referrals. So if you're a big breeder, you can go in and refer over 100 of your Patreon members and get all them to ship through the same company. And now they go and they're getting free labels essentially. So I could go in and do the same thing. And now I give, 2 or 3 people at the top, free shipping because of all the referrals. And then everybody else has to pay for that cost, Right. So the money comes from somewhere. Everybody pays what they got to pay, and doing it the way that we're doing it, it's more of a kind of a level playing field. There's less cost into it, less overhead, and less special treatment, I guess, in some ways. So I think that all of that is able to, that really takes a lot of money that we can put right back into the breeders and customers' pocket.
That makes sense.
With tagging on to that, with the prices being what they are right now, I can't forget the young lady who runs your Facebook page, the Morph Market.
Brittany.
Brittany.
Yep.
So Brittany has came on to Facebook, and she has stated that prices will eventually go based on tiers. Have you guys, when you guys will be pushing that out to where the tier prices will be changed up a little bit?
Probably in about a year, sometime next year. Yeah, It'll be a while. I mean, we might adjust it a couple percent. Like, instead of everybody getting 72, it might be, pro and premium get 72, and standard might get 68 or 70. And kind of scale it 1 or 2%. Over a 1 to 2 year period. So,
is the 72%? Is that going to be the highest discount, or would it?
Yeah.
That'll be the highest?
I don't think we'll be able to go any higher than that, really. That's about as good as it's going to get.
So a lot of people are saying that Morph Market is losing money on shipping. Can you speak to that? Like, are you guys losing money? Are you guys breaking even? Or are you guys turning a little bit of profit off of it?
Well, I can tell you we're not losing money. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be bad business if you were.
Yeah. Wouldn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I got a question with the prices and stuff, because I mean, you did say that they are going to fluctuate a little bit. So with the shipping, a lot of the rumors are that you're coming in by force, basically taking over the shipping game, waiting for everybody else to drop off, and then the prices at that point are going to go up crazy. And that's you know what I'm saying? So that's what a lot of people have been saying, and rumors going around in different Patreons and Discords and all that kind of nonsense. So anything, could you address that? Because a lot of people have said there's, you know, I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, but the whole Robin Hood thing, to where you've come in, you're tricking the people right now. A year from now, you're going to be throwing all the people up under the bus. So yeah, we just want, you know, can you address that for us?
I mean, no, we're not going to be doing that. We will reduce them slightly, but it's actually a lot better than even when we launched. So we launched at 65%, and then we went to 69, and then 72.
Yep.
And we're probably going to end up somewhere in the range of 65 to 72%. And then the people that are on, like, let's say like free sellers or like basic that are, you know, or hobbyists are paying $3 a month, you know, they might be in like the 60% range, maybe 55 at the lowest for like free. But that's still higher than, you know, what a lot of people have been paying for years. So I think that would be on the very low end, would be in the 55 to 60%. And that would be like absolute worst case scenario.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I think a lot of people, until you said it, as far as, you know, I figured that we just want to, you know, have tape on you saying it, but just a lot of people don't realize that, you know, there are discounts out there to be had, but unless you're in that top two, like you were saying, and you're being sponsored, you're really not getting that, the bills being put on you as a person that's not sponsored. So you've given it an equal playing field for sure. So.
Yeah, and I definitely understand it from a shipper's perspective. If you can get a lower cost, because some people in it as a hobby, some people in it as a business, but I don't even think that really matters when it comes to controlling your costs. And so I understand like why someone would go with a lower cost option if they're getting equal service.
Yeah, I think our service is you know, really good. I mean, we don't have a phone line, which, you know, can be a little bit of a downside, but I mean, let's be honest, how many people want to call and talk to somebody on the phone these days? So I think a lot of people, they just want to shoot you a text or an email or a live chat and just be done with it. You know, just say, hey, this is the problem I'm having. I mean, that's the way I've always ran Dubia as well, you know, for the bugs and everything. I mean, it's all live chat, email, text support, because we added a phone line and we would spend 30 minutes on the phone with a single person. And it's like, if you spend a half an hour with one customer and you've got 20 customers waiting, you now have to hire about twice, 3 times, even up to 5 times more people to handle phone support. And I think it'd be at least 5 times more, you know, in general. So, I mean, you're talking 5 times more people, which means cost goes up for everybody. And, you know, I don't think it's worth, you know, let's say a 20, 30, 40% price increase to be able to call somebody on the phone once a month or two when you actually have a problem.
Yeah. And so one of the most recent things that really kind of set off a lot of the shipping discussion was the green check mark and how that impacts people who don't have the green check mark versus people who do have the green check mark. And I know when you were on Chris's show, you spoke a little bit about some potential changes coming with the check mark. So can you talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, we're going to be rolling that out to additional members. So I believe sellers who've been on the platform for 5 years will have specific, requirements and all that. There's they're pretty basic. I mean, it is, we don't have the shipping requirement. That'll be the big one. So you'll be able to get like up to, X amount on your badge as like, for buyer protection. And then, if you ship with us, you get a little bit more and so on. So sellers that have been on the platform for like 3 or 5 years will get a little bit of, we'll be able to get it with, a more basic offering. And then I believe the highest is going to be like 1,500 or 2,000, somewhere in that range of coverage. So that'll be like a seller that's been on the platform for 5 years. They ship through us. They, don't have any, problems. They've got like a 4.8 or above rating. We know that the risk is pretty low that they're going to, screw anybody over. So, we'll do like 2,000 or 1,500 on that. So that way, if you're selling an animal, a buyer's on there and they're looking at it, they're going to feel like, okay, I can confidently make this purchase. So.
Gotcha. And so let's say you're a breeder that lives in Canada or somewhere else that isn't in the United States, and you got less than kind of that 5-year minimum requirement. Like, is there going to be an opportunity for them to get like some sort of check mark or some sort of validation or buyer protection from Morph Market, or are they just going to have to meet that tenure?
So we're going to be releasing buyer protection outside of the U.S. as well, like in Canada and all that.
Okay.
And we're going to have, there's not really going to be like obviously a shipping requirement because we don't offer it, but I think we're just going to have higher requirements like, okay, 5 years plus or 3 years, and you get, X amount. And that way, at least the buyer feels, covered and confident, and, we'll just eat that cost when something does happen, which, things do happen, but if we do it the right way, I think it will prevent a lot of those problems, which we've already decreased quite a bit, since taking over Morph Market. There's been a lot of changes that have been made that have improved the, rate of DOAs and scams and things like that already. And I think that this buyer protection thing is just going to improve that even more, because people are going to be a little less likely to not only do that, but then, they're going to want to keep that check mark and the verification and all that. And, it helps them look good for buyers. So.
Gotcha. So when the green check mark first came out and there was the Morph Market shipping requirement, a lot of people said that was a strategic move by Morph Market to force people's hands in terms of having to actually ship with Morph Market. So talk about that a little bit and kind of address it from a business perspective as it relates to kind of the risks that Morph Market is assuming by offering buyer protection to a seller or to a customer.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the big thing with that is we had to cover. So the best way to explain it is this: there's a handful of sellers who, they might have even been a seller for 3 years or 5 years, and they get out or something personal happens, financial or personal, and they end up with in a bad situation because they sold 10 animals and they all have problems, or they ended up, something was DOA and it's a $5,000 animal and they don't have the money to cover it, and now the buyer is just SOL. So a lot of times how that kind of ends is that the buyer ends up eating that, and Morph Market can't really do anything about it other than just ban the seller, and we just have to kick them off. And this happens, fairly often. I mean, we have over 6,000 sellers on Morph Market, and so I mean, even 1% of them, doing that per year, that's 60 people. And so, and of those 60, there might be, 5 or 10 of them that, they had, 4 or 5 animals sold, and, they screwed over 5 people each. And so, there's a cost to that, because if we take that, that risk, then when that does happen, even if it is only 0.5% of the time, or 1% or 0.2, whatever it may be, we're still having to cover that cost. And, I know there's been a handful of instances where a seller leaves and, there's tens of thousands of dollars, or, 20, 30, 40 grand in buyers that got taken with them, basically. So in the past, we've never been able to do anything about that, because, we just can't cover that cost. So I kind of came up with this idea of the check mark, and I'm like, okay, if we have specific requirements and maybe the shipping and other things, we can cover that cost by either charging for it, or, having shipping be a requirement where we can make money off of that, and that will cover it. So there's a handful of things. We had a few ideas, and we ended up deciding on the shipping, and now we're kind of rolling out the other options as well, which is, the how long you've been on the platform and things like that, different levels, different tiers, just to give more options, give people a little more flexibility there. So I think that, a lot of people might think, oh, it's just a money grab or something like that, but it's like there's cost to it. I mean, it's not going to be, depending on how many issues we have and how much mediation we have to do, it could mean an entire additional employee just dealing with that side of things, and the billing and payments and whatever else happens. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I kind of see it. I mean, the way you just explained it, it kind of, with the check mark, is kind of like like the sponsorship, but everybody's able to be that sponsor if you want to be that sponsor, you know what I mean, and get that green check mark, Well, not everybody. There are some requirements, but it is open to everybody, versus it being open to a select few or your tight knit group of homies that you want to get a discount to. So I do like that approach to it, for sure.
Yeah, I've always tried to approach things that way. I think that there's a lot going on in the industry right now. There's a lot, just in general, economy and whatever else, that things have really moved in a direction that, into like consolidation and bigger companies kind of taking over and controlling things. And I've always been more of a, I think everybody should, have a chance with that. And so, I've seen the way that a lot of other things have gone, and, I'm trying to keep Morph Market a little more fair for, the middle to smaller size breeders, and, rather than just, hey, it's all pay to play. And, if you're a bigger breeder, you get all the perks, and, all the small guys. I mean, I've even had a lot of backlash with that. I've had quite a few, sellers with like pro accounts and all that are, upset that we haven't done enough for them, and, and people who are paying more or been on the platform longer or bigger, they kind of want more perks. And, I'm really trying to make it where everybody gets a shot for, having success on the platform. So,
right. So speaking of the Amazon model, and a lot of people have said that Morph Market is kind of trying to take over like the whole reptile industry in as many ways as possible. And I know you mentioned that you were kind of like anti-Amazon model, but speak to that a little bit in terms of where you see Morph Market going with tapping into some of these other business segments in the reptile industry, and then kind of your thoughts on that whole Amazon model, where it's more of a top-down approach.
Yeah, I mean, being in business, I mean, obviously, we're always going to try to grow. I mean, that's just kind of natural. It's like, what else are you going to do? You're going to just stop and not do anything? Because when you do that, that's what happens with, king snake and fauna. They used to be the top dogs, and then they're gone. And, it's because they didn't adapt. They didn't evolve. They didn't add anything additional. It was just let's just collect our our memberships or our advertising dollars and, be done with it. And eventually something else like Morph Market comes in and they take over. So, with my business, I really just look at things in a way that, we always need to evolve and grow, not necessarily like take over. If that was my goal, I'd probably go get, $50 million in funding and get into every single piece of the reptile industry and make sure I just capitalize on all of it. That's not, what I'm doing. So there's some other companies that are being pushed right now in the industry. A couple other big companies that are being really heavily promoted. And, they're directly competing with us. And I think it's kind of funny that, we're being made out to be the Amazon or the Bezos of the industry when there's literally a, $1 billion and, $100 million companies being pushed by the people that are actually saying that about us. Like those guys have more money than I'll probably ever see in my lifetime. So
Why do you think you and Morph Market get so much like flack?
I think everybody wants a boogeyman. Everybody, there's got to be somebody, there's always got to be somebody that people can, pick on for whatever reason. And I don't know. I think that, this industry's really been, Beast Morphs just said it, nobody's hating on Husbandry.Pro for building a seller platform. Right. Everybody's growing into other things, it's like we go add one thing and it's end of the world. It's like, I think it's easy because it's, that's kind of why I've stayed off of social media and all that lately. I'm kind of done with being a target. So
yeah, it's easy to hate the one up at the top for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said last week, 2 weeks ago, I think when we was talking about this, I was like, after last night's podcast, we were talking in the back and just like, you see how many people hate on Canova just because he just does what he does and continues to evolve his breedings and all this other kind of stuff. So when you are leading the way, people, it's always easier to pull people down than it is to pull them up. You know what I'm saying? And so, but you're right though. Nobody has addressed anything or said anything about Husbandry.Pro starting to sell stuff when, in my opinion, nobody should, because I think that they should be evolving. Otherwise, they're going to get left in the dust, right? And I've said it before. And I think I told you last time you were on when we had you. I was like, I love Husbandry.Pro's as far as husbandry keeping goes. I love their platform with it. And Morph Market, and I haven't been on it in a few months as far as that goes. But at that time, I was like, you guys, that part of you guys is not. It's not where it needs to be at yet. So I'm over here with Husbandry.Pro, right? So everybody has their own lanes that they're running in and kind of diversify themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like the stock market, you cannot be in one spot and expect to make money in this thing. So, and it is a business. So,
I think it's just the natural progression. That's people can think what they want, but everybody's going to say that I'm monopolizing, but I think that it's kind of the opposite of that. I've made it more competitive. That's the opposite of monopolizing a market. It's just, there wasn't, if you think about it, there were other people that were out there for a long time and nobody knew was really coming into the game. And, and I think that the same happens with everything else, marketplace and, bugs and rodents and expos, it's the same thing there. People are coming in, they put on a better show, and big ones that have been around forever, they, start to fade off. So, I think that's just kind of how things go. I don't think people should really, I guess, lose it over natural business, progression.
So Holly from Texoma asked a good question. She asks, are you the sole owner of Morph Market, or are there kind of like other behind the scenes players?
I have one partner in it, and basically just one person who's, also involved in dubia and all that. So kind of runs operations on that side of things. I'm allergic to the roaches, and I can't really deal with them a whole lot. So, I brought in somebody else to kind of handle the, obviously he handles that side of things. I handle the online and the marketing side, and works out really well. So
I hope you're getting a bigger cut of that, because you definitely taking the blend in, being the face of it.
No, I'm pretty fun. It's a good thing. It works out. So
yeah,
front facing premium.
yeah.
So this might be a question you don't want to ask, and feel free to push back if you're not. But so going back to like the whole shipping aspect of it all, what do you think the other companies are going to have to do to make themselves more competitive? I know what I think, but I'm interested to hear your take on it.
I mean, I think everybody has to evolve, and I think that that might mean changing business model, or getting rid of the phone support, things like that, or just trying to have a better level of service. Obviously some people might like phone support, and they're willing to pay a little more for that, and that's fine. I think that I actually don't really have anything bad to say about any of the other shipping companies. I mean, there's really nothing that they do that's bad. There's nothing that they're not causing any problems or anything. So I don't really have anything bad to say about that.
Are you noticing, and I know you got sirens going, and that's okay. Are you noticing the number?
I'm in LA right now, so.
Oh, you're in LA.
Yeah.
Okay.
they got a helicopter and sirens, and I don't know what's going on. There's a chase like 2 days ago. So.
Oh man, OJ. Rest in peace to the GOAT.
Are you noticing the number of Morph Market shippers and shipments going up?
Yeah, we've had pretty consistent growth since we started, and I mean, yeah, we had we had a lot of growth right in the beginning, and then during the winter months it just tanked. There was nothing, and then the growth has continued to go up since weather started getting better and all that. And yeah, we're getting a lot of new people in, and there's still, I mean, over half of Morph Market sellers haven't even used us, not even for one label. So I don't think it's really a monopoly when not even half of the people have even printed a label with us. So wow. It's pretty surprising.
Have you looked at the data to see, like, in terms of those folks that aren't using Morph Market, like, are they regularly making sales on Morph Market, or is some of that data, does it have some noise in it because they're not selling it all or shipping it all, from what you can see?
I mean, there's definitely a lot of people that don't use Morph Market that I'm sure are shipping through who knows where they're shipping through. But the people that are using Morph Market, I mean, there's quite a few, there's not quite half that have shipped through us. There's quite a few that have shipped through us, maybe once or twice. But I think that there's a lot of sales going, happening on Morph Market that are not even shipped through us at all. I mean, that's the vast majority, over 50%, as I was saying. So over half of the sales on Morph Market are not even shipped through Morph Market, which, yeah, no problem here. I don't have an issue with that. I think there's a place for everybody, and I don't think there's any issue there. I think some people have, made this pretty personal, and they've talked a lot of crap and whatever else, but I don't know. I don't really have, if I did say negative things about any of the other shipping companies, I'd probably be lying, because I don't think they're doing anything necessarily bad. So
do you talk to any of those other companies?
A couple of them, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I don't have the greatest relationship with any of them now, but
why is that?
I mean, some of them just really don't like me. I mean, whatever, it is what it is. But Yeah, I don't have any personal issues with any of them. Sit down and have a drink with any of them any day. So no problem on my end.
That makes sense.
I had shoot, dang it. What was you gonna say, Mike? Because my question just dropped out of my brain somehow. I had one right there too.
Okay, yeah, I was about to
Oh,
go ahead.
real quick, why this? Okay, so somebody, I think it was Justin Thomas at the beginning, said something about the tap method. Basically, that's what's going around. That's what we call it in our little group. Is basically tap and go. You know what I'm saying? Who is the one? Speaking of evolution, who is are evolving? Who is the one behind the scenes that is, responsible for where you guys have taken Morph Market? Can you talk on that a little bit? Because it is extremely. Every time I go on there, there's something different. Now you go on there, I could track the status of my snake when I go to the shipping labels without even having to go through FedEx. It updates it automatically. Like all this stuff is happening. Like who's that driving force that's pushing you guys in this whole thing?
Well, we have a pretty awesome team. I mean, we've got several developers that build everything out. We've got a couple people on the product team that, Brittany does a lot. She's, her and Thomas and a couple other people we have on our team are doing quite a bit of behind the scenes, legwork on everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely handle a lot of it, a lot of the, just different ideas and direction on things, which a lot of it gets pushed down because, I kind of have my, sight set on like big things, and I got to kind of dumb a little bit of it down because it's a little too much. We can't, either can't afford it, can't pay for it, too much stuff to do. Our team's too busy. I mean, we've got like 5 years worth of work ahead of us on just adding new features, adding new things. And a lot of it, we've had to adapt. I mean, my background originally is web development and design and UI and UX and all that. So that's what I did before Dubia. I worked for a web development company, an ad agency, a marketing firm. I did consulting and all that. So I have pushed a lot of the direction where things have gone. I had a lot of it. I mean, I spent probably 4 to 6 months before even buying Morph Market. Before I even knew for sure that it was going to happen, just planning out what I was going to do in the first 6 months to a year, and writing a lot of it down and messing around with the website and making changes and figuring out a direction for it. And then, I brought on Brittany and Thomas was already there, but I brought on Brittany and a couple other people, and, they definitely have helped a ton with, the direction and adding the additional features. And a lot of it does come from customers and sellers too. So, I think it's a pretty good mix of, different people working on, different things.
So you mentioned that 5-year roadmap, and that's actually a great segue into a question I wanted to highlight from Jason from Morph Forge. So can you talk about like some of the new functionality or services this kind of, let's say 12 on the first 12 months of that 5-year roadmap?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of things. There's a lot of different, bugs and things that we got to fix, and new features on, husbandry and, transferring of animals and activities and things like that, making it a little more integrated throughout the platform. We're going to add a few more, minor shipping related features and, different additional things there. We're probably going to be working on a couple other big things as well, like some more like social integration. So you'll be able to like make posts, and sellers will be able to make posts on there, and people can react and comment and whatever else. We're going to do a little bit of that, make it a little more like kind of like Reddit, make it a little more community driven. And then we're probably going to be doing some live video auctions. That's a big thing that there's some other people, or a lot of people are really trying to do that. So we're going to be working on having some options there, which I think will be pretty big. I think that'll there's a place for it. I don't know if it's kind of a fad or not, but you know, of course you got to evolve or you get left behind. So got to do what you got to do. We'll see how that ends up going.
So with the live auctions, I know that's a big thing in the Palm Street space right now. The live auction aspect, is that what led you guys to say, hey, we need to add this functionality because we got to evolve and keep up? Or was this something that was kind of already on the roadmap, already in discussion?
We had discussed it in the past, but I kind of shut it down a little bit previously because I didn't. I think that it not only does it make sales a little bit too salesy, like a little bit too pushy, and you know, it's like, I mean, we're selling animals, we're not selling Pokemon cards, you know. So like, you know, we got to have standards and all that, and I think that the live auctions, they kind of open up a door to a lot more unethical and questionable tactics, which I think is going to attract a lot of, you know, PETA and other organizations and a lot of negative publicity. So I pushed it down originally, but because of, you know, another platform, I think we're going to be adding something like it just to have, you know, have that option, but we're going to have it very limited. We're going to have to, you know, really do it the right way and make sure that people know, like, hey, these are, you know, these are the standards you have to uphold in these videos. Like, you can't, you know, I mean, we're still dealing with live animals here. We can't just make this, you know, kind of a cheap, like, gimmick. I mean, it's just very, I don't know. They've had some of these big influencers and all that on there, and like this, you know, this one guy just bought a bunch of animals and then he just flipped them on, you know, these lives, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I mean, I think it's not a good look for anybody. It's just, we got to do it the right way. So I'm going to try to approach this from a, you know, a very ethical point of view, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because didn't they used to do the live auctions like that on Facebook and stuff like that?
Back in the day, I know they used to do auctions on Facebook. I don't know if it was live because it was before my time, but I know they did like auction type stuff on Facebook, and a lot of people pushed back at the time for various reasons.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I've got opinions on a lot of this stuff, but I think that there's you know, Morph Market will always you know, be on the right side of, you know, what's best for the animals and the industry and the hobby. And I think that, you know, some of that could be at risk with other platforms, you know, coming into the space and just looking at it as a, you know, a money grab. So.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. I didn't look at it in that view, but definitely can see that because they do go for cheap, for sure, on these live auctions that I've seen. Very, very cheap.
Yep. and it's a lot of people that don't. I mean, what I saw earlier today was there was an auction going on that, you know, the guy was, you know, they were getting rid of like sulcata tortoises and stuff, like little, you know, it's already a questionable thing, and now they're putting that on a live, and they're getting rid of sulcatas that, you know, that are
gonna be this big.
Yeah, and it's, you know, they're going for $40, and it's some random person who might not even be a reptile person. You know, like they're on there, you know, looking at something else. You know, it's like these other live platforms. I mean, there's quite a few of them. There's you know, Whatnot and, you know, others like that. And they're not reptile people. They just get in there and they're going to get into these markets just to, you know, have another market to capitalize on and make money off of. And they don't really care what people do or what they sell or how they do it. And yeah, I mean, that one that I mentioned before, I mean, they just bought a ton of animals from somebody and literally just days later flipped them all on lives. And it's like they're flipping like 200, 300, 400 animals on a single live, and it's just not a good look for anybody. So no quarantine, nothing. Who knows what health they're all in, or I don't know. Yeah.
Want to give a shout out to Kane. Said shout out to Double Clutch for asking the questions we all want to hear, and shout out to Darien for sitting down to be interviewed and sending the record straight, and of course giving us an awesome platform to do business on. So big shout out to you, homie. Really appreciate the super chat. Much love. Matt,
Yeah,
you got
appreciate having me on.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
I
Yes, sir.
got
any
a
other questions?
yeah. I wanted somebody wrote something up here because I didn't. I can't click on it. But Beastmore said like a few comments up from Kane's. The one change I would like to make it like to see is to make the offer button. If I accept the offer, buyer should be locked in. I can you go into that? Because I thought I've gotten a few offers, and once I accept them, I didn't know that the buyer could back out. Like once I push accept, I thought that the order was gone, was good.
I think that's something we're going to be adding in the future. We'll add an integration with Buy Now where you can basically require payment on it, and then they'll have to actually click a checkbox that says that they agree to pay that amount, and then it'll charge them automatically. So it'll be like kind of an automated thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Any more questions, Matt?
Let's see what else was on here. There's an email on there that somebody might want to get to that they keep talking about in there, but but other than that, no. I mean, honestly, man, I appreciate you coming on here, man, and chatting with us because unless somebody in the chat got a question, I just wanted to ask the questions that everybody the rumors that's been going around as far as you trying to take over. Raising the prices up after, hurting the market and all that kind of good jazz. When at the end of the day, I'm a businessman, so I definitely understand. I operate as a business, and so I'm going to do what benefits my business at the end of the day. And so I appreciate you continuing to evolve because, like I said, in our little group that we have with me, Mike, and some of the other homies, that fact that I could click a button that says give me your address, and I don't have to copy and paste your address in a whole nother website now. All those small things, I think a lot of people are not realizing that those things just for the keeper like me who got a job. Yeah. And I got to go to work 8 hours a day, and I got to come home to 3 kids and a wife. I need this stuff needs to be simple. It needs to be streamlined. And so I definitely appreciate how Morph Market is making everything streamlined. And I think, in that aspect, you guys are winning. So
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Darren, I know you got to get out of here shortly, so I do want to wrap up the segment with you up here in a minute. But one more question from Holly from Texoma. Is the next step for Morph Market rodents? And I'm assuming she means like Morph Market selling rodents as opposed to allowing people to sell rodents on the site, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, we are going to be adding a few other things. I do think one thing that's in the works is a local rodent section. So I think that a lot of people have a hard time finding, live rodents locally. And I think that we're going to be adding a little, a little section for that where you can actually, buy your lives, from somebody local. So I think that'll be really nice.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be dope. But yeah, like I said, man, I know you got to get out of here, but we do appreciate you coming on, kind of clearing the air on a few things and being so open and willing to answer questions. Not every question is an easy question to answer, so definitely understand the position that you're in. So that's why we're super appreciative of you coming on here with us tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yes, sir.
I'll have to do it again.
Man. Yeah, for sure. For sure. You have a good
I'm sure
evening.
There'll be some more controversy to address later on in a month or two.
There'll be something.
Fun in Cali.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, bro. Take it easy.
All righty. You guys have a good one.
Peace out, man. Thanks, man.
Peace.
All righty.
We're gonna go to a real quick commercial break, and we can come back and have a little conversation and wrap up the show. But real quick, let's hit these commercials.
Experience the epitome of elegance and excellence with Reagan Renee Rural Pythons. Working projects like DG Krypton and DG Clown, You can place your bets on quality and let Reagan Renee be your winning hand. Expect innovation and unmatched customer service with every interaction. Elevate your collection with the finest quality ball pythons. Visit them on Instagram and Morph Market. Discover the extraordinary at Reagan Renee Rural Pythons.
Step into a world where dreams take shape with Ozzy, a true leader in the reptile industry. Known for unparalleled customer service and a dedication to excellence, Ozzy sets the standard. His cutting-edge projects continue to inspire and push the boundaries of what's possible. Submerge yourself in a future full of possibilities. Join the journey, embrace the innovation, and above all, keep dreaming.
It's called EPIC, the Exotic Pet Industry Conference, and it's free to register at epic.live. EPIC is over 20 special guests across 16 sessions covering industry trends, marketing, branding, podcasting, and YouTube. EPIC is for pet keepers and breeders. It's for gecko and invert lovers. It's for snake and spider lovers. EPIC is for anyone who enjoys these amazing animals. Did I mention it's free? Register now at epic.live.
Big shout out to Ozzy and Charlie for sponsoring the show, man. Appreciate the support, man. So, what were your thoughts on all that?
Man, I mean, I thought it was good, man. I appreciate him coming on, addressing, you know what I'm saying, be able to answer those hard questions that ain't comfortable for nobody, for no one. But at the end of the day, you know, Kanye West said it best. You know, there's always going to be haters. That's the way it is. Hater dudes marry hater women and have hater kids. And I swear I live by that to this day. And when you get to the level where he is at in the hobby, and I'm not, you know, like I said, same thing with the Canovas or the Ozzies or people like that. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be somebody that's hating on you or talking crazy about you, you know, and you have to address, you don't have to address every single thing, but it does, you know, help when you come out and address what the rest of the people, which people will see as the commoners of the reptile hobby, you know what I'm saying, and give them that respect to address those things that we've been hearing, and you know what I'm saying, put them to bed, you know. So yeah, I definitely, how'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I felt the same way for the most part. I was definitely appreciative of him coming on and kind of addressing some of the tough questions head on. I think that goes a long way, you know what I mean, with giving another side of the narrative. There's a lot of different narratives kind of out there, and so it's always like multiple sides of everything. Different people have their different perspectives, so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, people gonna resonate with whatever makes sense to them. But I do think it's a lot of value in having multiple sides of the story out there. So like that's what I was most appreciative of and most looking forward to, is just to ask those questions head on and see what the responses were. And then the information is out there, and then you do what you will.
Mm-hmm. But like you said, I do hope, like I love the fact that like we stated, Husbandry.Pro has come out with a selling page, and my animals are already on Husbandry.Pro. So all I got to do now is, you know, when I hatch a clutch that's already in Husbandry.Pro, put those genetics in, and I can list those animals streamlined straight on there, and I can also have them on Morph Market. You know, it's so many avenues that we can do, and at the end of the day, you do what's best for your business. You know what I'm saying? You do what's best for you as Herp Collectors. I do what's best for me as Ebony and Ivory Reptiles, like whatever it is, you know, whoever else, you know, you got to make it has to make sense. You got to make it make sense for you at the end of the day, you know? Yeah,
I actually want to touch on that too in just a second, but since you just mentioned Husbandry.Pro, that's a perfect segue.
Oh, yes, sir.
Make sure you're using Husbandry.Pro. You can get 60 days free with promo code DC Squad 60. This goes for new users and inactive users. And by inactive, that means you have to be inactive for 6 months or more. So definitely tap in DC Squad 60 to get 60 days free. And if you are in the Double Clutch Patreon, then we got a special code for you to where you can get 90 days free. So just another reason to join the Double Clutch Patreon. Aside from all the fun we have in there, aside from the dope perks, not Husbandry.Pro, this is another reason to tap in with us on the Double Clutch Patreon. Yeah, man, I do. And this isn't even specific to this discussion, but you said something this I think really important to kind of highlight in terms of you got to do what makes sense for your business. I feel like, especially in this industry, because it's a relatively small industry, especially on the industry side of things. It's a lot of keepers, but like the industry side is like even smaller. I feel like a lot of folks get in their feelings about business decisions. Like you have to make decisions that are best for your business. It's not personal. It's just how it's how business goes. It's the American way, and it happens day to day in other industries all the time. There's some of the same people who get in their feelings work in these industries where they're making business decisions and they totally understand it, but then all of a sudden when it gets to the reptile game, like we got to operate by a different rule book, and I don't like that.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you, bro. It's like all logic goes out once it touches them. You know what I'm saying? Once it has an effect, a personal effect on them and the way that they operate, it all business mindset goes out of the window. And again, though, that is because I strongly believe we are in a hobby, this reptile hobby. I strongly believe 90% of the people in the reptile, I don't care if it's ball pythons, boas, turtles, whatever, 90% of those people are hobbyists, right? They're not have a business mind to where they're trying to evolve this thing into something that is profitable for them at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? They didn't come into it saying, okay, in 5 years, I need to be a profitable business. So how do I set myself up to be profitable in 5 years? And so a lot of people just get in and they are in it truly for the love of their animals, or they're in the, and granted, I love all my animals, but at the end of the day, it is a business at the same time as well. And so a lot of the people in this hobby do not operate with a business mind. And so I feel like that's where a lot of the confusion comes in at. And why would somebody want to do this? You're already doing this. Why would you want to, you know what I'm saying, have auctions when you already having this? Or why would, you know what I'm saying? But they don't understand, like, that's business. That I would go walk up into Walmart and tell Mr. Walmart to stop selling clothes and the lawnmower and eggs and milk and TVs and, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, you know, so
100%. Please stop selling fruit though, Mr. Walmart.
please take the fruit off the shelf, Mr. Walmart. Please take it off.
It's trash.
Hey, my wife ordered some grapes from Walmart the other day on the delivery because we needed some grapes. And every time we be praying, like, oh, man, please let this be a good batch of grapes. Oh, my gosh. Man. But, yeah, it's, you know, and when you're thinking about it as a business and you operate as a business, then you can look at the guys that are above you and be like, okay, I see what it is that they're doing and I see why it is that they're there. And the business mindset that they have, like this, one of the greatest things, and then I'll shut up, that I heard this week was Cat Williams was on the interview the other day, and everybody know Cat Williams is that man crazy. But he was on the interview the other day, and he said, I want to say it was Jimmy Fallon, one of them nighttime shows, whoever does them nighttime shows. But I saw a clip of it on YouTube today, and they asked him, or he just bought an old military base in Alabama.
Yeah.
And he said, and he was like, I love success, so I follow success. He was like, Tyler Perry just bought a military base a few years ago and is now producing his own movies out of this military base. So what did Cat Williams go do? Go buy a military base. Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to follow success. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's what people got to understand and know, like, man, there's a path for success and there's a path when you're thinking about it as a business. But yeah, that's all I got to say about it.
100%. I heard him say some similar stuff on Theo Vaughn too. When I watched that podcast, but he was talking about like the whole buying the military base, why he did it. and stuff like that. So I definitely heard that before, and I agree with that 100%, like 150%. I totally agree with that. But yeah, I think a takeaway from that, because you touched on it a little bit, as far as like you are operating as a business, like you love the animals, but you are operating as a business. And I feel like we got to get as an industry out of a place to even have to, outside of the need to have to explain that and justify that, because it's okay. Like the two things can exist at the same time. You can love the animals, you can be passionate about the animals, but you can also do it from a business perspective. You know what I mean? And I do feel like a lot of folks get in their feelings about it. And again, it's not just about like the shipping stuff. In fact, these comments aren't even, I'm not even saying this because of the shipping. It's just like a trend that I see in terms of like people getting in their feelings about business decisions. Like it's okay, man. Y'all chill. I do want to touch on what Kane said, because this is the second time in a row we done mentioned the fruit. I don't get the fruit from Walmart.
Hey man, you gotta go.
Me.
Hey, what is it? Whole Foods.
Whole Foods is another one. Yeah.
Sprouts. I'll even go to Costco sometimes, because Costco, at least if theirs is bad, they'll let you take it back. But yeah, it's got to be one of them Whole Foods type of places for my fruit.
Bro, I ate some pineapples from Walmart one time, and that junk burnt my mouth. Like, that's crazy. No more Walmart fruit for me.
Hey, it's crazy out there, man. It's crazy.
Cool, man. So, anything else you want to touch on, whether related to what we were just talking about or related to the first part of the show?
Man. I think I'm good. I mean, I've enjoyed everybody in the comments. Thank y'all for coming through as always. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and we might already have a topic what's popping off on the internet already right now. So it's, but yeah, it's always good to come and clear the air and get the people what they want. And I feel like that's what we did tonight, and we get the people what it is they needed answers to. So
100%, man. Definitely appreciate everybody tapping in with us tonight. Big shout out to everybody in the live chat. If you haven't hit that like button, this is a great time to go ahead and hit that like button. Big shout out to Replay Gang. Make sure y'all hit that like button as well, and drop us a comment, #Replay Gang. Let us know you was here. If anybody got any requests for any reptile related topics, not just ball pythons, but any not even just reptiles, exotic pets in general, definitely hit us up. Let us know what you're thinking, and we'll consider it. But again, man, appreciate everybody sliding through tonight. It was a great episode, man. I feel like we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish, and we appreciate y'all supporting us.
You already know what it is, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's going to be it for tonight. For Double Clutch, I'm Mike. This is the homie Matt. The lovely lady behind the scenes is Takar. Thank y'all for coming out. Be blessed. Peace.
With Mike and Mac, we lead the way. In the reptile world, we're here to stay. Double clutch where passion meets. From the start to the top, you can't be beat. Double clutch, with Mike and Mac. Double clutch, it's where it's at. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track. With Mike and Mac, we lead the way. In the reptile world, we're here to stay. Double clutch where passion meets. From the start to the top, we can't be beat. Double clutch, with Mike and Mac. Double clutch, it's where it's at. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track. Always on track. With Mike and Mac, we lead the way. In the reptile world, we're here to stay. Double clutch, where passion meets. From the start to the top, we can't be beat. Double clutch, with Mike and Mac. Double clutch, it's where it's at. Double clutch,